Unit 3, Video 18, we're going to talk about the American system lead into the Panic of 1819. Typically, when you learn about the American system in middle school, high school, or college, you're just going to get one side of it, which is government is awesome. And that's okay. Through this video, if you choose to believe government is awesome, I'm also going to present the idea that maybe government isn't awesome. I'm going to give you all the knowledge, and it's for you to decide. Not going to indoctrinate you into the religion of government or the religion of anti-government. The American system will be created by Henry Clay, representative from Kentucky. His theory is to grow the nation, we need roads. And he's going to talk about other things that we're going to need. But first, let's just focus on the idea of building roads and canals, why that's important, and why Henry Clay urged the federal government to do this. With roads and canals, you can ship goods. And if you can ship goods, you can grow businesses on the East Coast, in the Midwest, in the South. If you don't have roads, you can't get the raw materials to produce your goods in the factory. If you can't have roads, then you can't ship the goods that you've produced to the markets and to people. So we need to build roads, and according to Henry Clay and the American system, that will be the job of the government. Why are you putting the talkies there or whatever? Anyway, so with these roads and canals through the American system in the early 1800s or the early 19th century, we can grow our manufacturing sector. We're going to increase our markets. We're going to be able to ship goods from the Midwest to the East Coast. And by doing so, we're going to expand farms in the Midwest. And this is all going to be possible because of roads. And my GIF didn't load correctly. Well, too bad. Also, through the roads in the American system, it's GIF, whatever. Through the American system, these roads and canals, you're going to unite the nation. One of the things that we're going to talk about leading into the Civil War is the growing sectionalism in the country. We have the East Coast, the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast. The South is very different. The Midwest is becoming very different. And also, we have immigrants coming into the country, and they're taking their differences and moving to different parts, and we're not unifying. We're not creating a union, which was important to Thomas Jefferson, which was important to George Washington, to Benjamin Franklin, all the founding fathers. Commonly use the word union. In the Constitution, we say the reason we created a Constitution, we the people, in the preamble, was to form a more perfect union. We need to unite the people. And one of the ways to unite them is to physically bind them together with a system of roads and a system of canals. That's Henry Clay's belief. We need the federal government to fund the production of infrastructure, roads, canals, to increase business, to help the movement of goods, but also to bring people together. Well, wouldn't these roads actually separate them too? Yeah, kind of. So the American system, Henry Clay, people are in this country. For people to move to the Midwest to farm, they've got to be able to get there. So you need roads, you need canals. To get that movement of people over, we need roads and canals. That's going to be one of the big parts of the American system. We'll also talk about tariffs. Tariffs are going to help fund that. And then also the banking system, which is really going to be the second part where the American system leads into the Panic of 1819. The GIF didn't load correctly. It's supposed to be winding. I let you down. Sorry. Got to double check that next time. So the federal government has all this land in Ohio and in Michigan and Illinois, and they want to sell the land to the people. You can make money, but in order to sell the land to the people have to be able to get there. The people can't get there if there aren't roads and canals, and the people aren't going to move there and start a farm if they can't move their farm goods, if they can't move their livestock to the market. So to get there, they need a road, and to move their raw materials or goods to the market, they're going to need roads as well. If I want to get there, I need roads and canals, the American system. And then the farmer's going to need roads and canals to ship his goods back to the East Coast to be economically viable. Here's the thing. This land that the government sold and made money off of, they can then turn that money and spend it on the roads and the canals. That's one of the ways that Henry Clay urges us to pay for the American system. He also says through tariffs, oh no, we're going to talk about tariffs again. That's all we're talking about in this class is tariffs, taxing on imported goods. And no, I'm sorry, it comes up, but we're not going to go over through the graphic that you see. So what are roads and canals? Well, let's look at canals. What is a canal? It's a man-made waterway. It's a man-made river that allows you to ship goods. This is pre-trucking and roads. This is pre-airline industry. This is pre or before railroads. So if you want to ship a lot of goods, you're carrying it on your back. You're carrying it on your horse's back, or you're putting it on a boat and moving it. Well, That's great when there's an ocean, when there's rivers and there's lakes, but a lot of the country doesn't have oceans, rivers, and lakes. And so we need to connect the rivers. And the way that you can connect the rivers is by building man-made waterways. You put the goods on the boat and you move it on down the way. Pretty cool, awesome. We can use gravity to help us move goods and save our strength. This will be, this is a big endeavor. I mean, we're blowing up giant mountains. We're carving through the land. It's a man-made waterway. Making a man-made waterway, a canal today, is a difficult task. Building the Panama Canal during modern America was a difficult, challenging task. Building a canal 200 years ago is a earth-shattering, you're literally shattering kind of experience anyway. So you're blowing up mountains to make this happen. One of the more famous ones is the Erie Canal, man-made waterway that connects the Atlantic Ocean to the Great Lakes, to the Midwest. It opens this up so now we can move goods back and forth. We can move people back and forth. We can move ideas back and forth. There wasn't a river that connected the Atlantic Ocean to the Midwest, which then would connect to the Mississippi River. We didn't have that, so we made it. The Erie Canal, 1870, 1825, and one of the more amazing things, if we look at a profile, the Erie Canal starts in the Atlantic Ocean, which the Atlantic Ocean is 0 sea level. Here in Albany, 358 feet above sea level, but it ends at 600 feet above sea level. They went up. How do you make water go up? There are locks. There's a lot of engineering involved, man-made thinking, and stuff like that. So it goes from Albany to Buffalo. You can see here in Albany, 300 feet. It's pretty amazing. The man-made waterway. So talking more about the Erie Canal. So this is, you're hiring workers, you're blowing up mountains, you're carving through, and you're digging out this. This is a very expensive expenditure. This is an expensive program, and it's not paid for by the federal government. That's one of the problems you're going to run into when people are going to teach you the American system lesson. And when they teach you about this, the government paid for these things so that we could have it. Wow, that great government had the foresight, the great idea to finance the building of these roads. The government had the great idea to finance the building of these canals so that everyone could benefit. The federal government did not pay for the Erie Canal. This was a project by the state of New York, the state government of New York. So if you want to have a states' rights argument, sure, the state took care of what the state needed. The federal government, people in Georgia did not pay for a canal that was mainly going to be used by the people in New York and the people in the Midwest. The people of South Carolina did not have to pay tax dollars to pay for a canal that was mainly going to benefit another state. The state of New York, knowing that we are going to benefit from it, paid for the canal. That's how they got it approved. This is not a federal project. So to lump Erie Canal in with the American system, because we consider overall the Erie Canal is a success and it opens up the Midwest. And we lump that in with the American system. We lump that in with Henry Clay, and we create this grand narrative of big government opening up the Midwest, doing things, big projects that only a government can do to help out the people. It wasn't the federal government. It wasn't the American system. This was the people of New York doing this. Government is not really behind a lot of this. You got to separate from what is real. The Erie Canal, not the American system. A lot of these roads, a lot of these canals were not federal government projects. They were limited liability corporations. They were businesses. These were people putting their own money on the line to build these roads. We think of the government owning the roads today, and they do. But the government doesn't own all the roads. The government doesn't own all the railroads during times. The government doesn't own all of airline travel. Transportation isn't completely owned by the government. Just because we're on a road every day and we know the government owns that road, we have to separate from that idea. These roads were not government owned. These roads were not government built. The American system often leads on. Look at all these roads we have today. Must be the American system. No, most of these roads and canals were private corporations building these roads, putting their own money on the line. And you're probably thinking, well, how can you make money off of a road? You know how you can make money off of a road. How you make money off of an airplane? Have you ever rode the train? Have you ever ridden on an airplane? Guess what? You had to buy a ticket and they let you ride. It's the same thing with roads and canals. They pay, they put their money on the line to build the roads, the canals, and how it works is, oh, you want to use my road? You want to use my canal? You want to ship your goods on my canal? Pay me money and you can have a ticket. That's how the corporation worked. They can make money off of it. There is an incentive to build a road. There's an incentive to build a canal. And so businesses got involved. It is not the government building all of these roads. It is not the government building all of these canals. The idea of the American system is great, but the reality of what happened is nowhere close to what the idea is. The idea that we have is the American system is the government financed all these roads and it opened up the West. That's a great idea, and that was a dream, but that's not what happened. What happened was the roads and canals were mainly built by private investors. Let's look at the Cumberland Road or the National Road. This is one of so we already said the Erie Canal, that was New York. That's not the American system. That's not the national government. That's not Henry Clay. Well, Henry Clay was involved in the Cumberland Road. He was involved in the National Road that was going to open up the Midwest and the West. Well, we can look close and see that some of these spots aren't built by the federal government. This passage right here is owned by a private corporation. It is a toll road built by a private business. This area right here, this again was private businesses. Ooh, say, well, those are just small parts of it. The other parts were built by the government. Sure, well, sort of. You look at this portion, which was not built well, which is actually the entire road, which we'll get into in a second. The area between Cumberland and Wheeling, they had to repave it. And at that point, the government's like, look, we're not doing this anymore. And they made the states pay for it. So this American system, this idea that the federal government built this whole thing, well, look, we know that parts were built by private businesses. We also know that this portion was abandoned by the federal government, and they forced the states to pick up the bill. States' right? I don't know. You tell me. Here's another question in the American system. The problem with building roads by the government. When the government builds a road, think about this. Where do they build that road? Well, they'll build the road to where it's supposed to go. Well, where is it supposed to go? Point A to point B. So it's going to go directly from point A to point B, and that road is going to be the most efficient, economically built road. So you're going to go from point A to point B, and you're going to build it in a way that's the cheapest and makes the most sense. Correct? Wrong. That's not the way that the government builds a road. When the government builds a road, the people who get to make decisions on who's going to build the road, the people in the government are connected to certain communities. And they're going to say, I want the road to go through my town. Yeah, but you live up on a giant mountain. Well, I have power, and it's going to help my people out, so the road's coming through my town. And that's what they do when they build a road. The road zigs and zags and goes to places that are not economically feasible, places that are not economically sound, and they spend way too much money taking the road off track just because somebody's sister lives in that town and he wants to help out that town and he has political power. That's what happens when private businesses or limited liability corporations build roads. They build it as cheaply as possible. And I'm not saying they cut corners. I'm saying like, hey, we're not going to go over here out of the way. Let's just keep going straight. It's going to save us money. That's the way businesses work. Businesses have to save money because they have to make money. The government does not have to make money. They don't have to profit off this road. They can spend. They can help out your cousin-in-law. They can help out your nephew. Oh, we're going to go help out and move the town around over there. They can do whatever they want because it's based for political ideas. Another problem, when a business or limited liability corporation built toll roads or built canals, they had to do so wisely. They had to spend wisely. They had a finite amount of money and they were trying to make a profit. So they made smart decisions about how they built the road. The government doesn't have a budget. The government can do whatever it wants then and now. All government projects go over budget constantly because they don't have to operate within a budget. If you run a pizza place and you go over your budget, you go out of business and your pizza place doesn't exist anymore. If you run a government agency, whether it's a school or social services or the Department of Transportation, and you go over budget, guess what? Too bad, so sad. The government's just going to borrow more money or tax people more. The government is not fiscally sound. This animation is supposed to be throwing money. What's going on with my GIFs today? Other thing is, the road, if it's built by a private business, they own that road. They make money off that road. They need to take care of that road. And so they make sure when they build the road the first time, they build it wisely. They make sure that they put in time and effort so that it doesn't fall apart because it's their road. And if it falls apart, they're in trouble. The government doesn't care. If the road falls apart, it doesn't matter. They're never going back to Cumberland. They're never going back to Wheeling, West Virginia. Oh, there's a bunch of potholes, whatever. We're done with that section of the road. I'm never going back there. I don't own it. The government owns it. When you're a construction worker for the government and you build something, it's not yours. You don't own it. You don't have to rely on making money off of it. It's the government. So see you later. Oh, well, did we cut a couple corners and make it cheaply? Guess what? That happens then. That happens now. So for your AP test, as we wrap up the American system, before we go into the Panic of 1819, AP, on your test, you need to make sure that you say the American system was a wonderful project and the federal government and their giant power created these roads and canals, which lifted our economy, which unified our country, which was a great idea. Big federal government, woo, big government is huge. You probably don't like it. Why would you stop using these words? It makes me cringe. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm supposed to say cringe. It's cringe. It's so cringe. It's probably so cringe when I try to say things like so cringe. So I'm going to keep doing it. I enjoy it. Big government is Gucci. That's what you need to put on your APUS history test. Please do not put the red pill answers. So if you want to believe in the American system and you need a federal government to do these massive projects, that's okay. That's fine. Make your decision based on facts and evidence. And if you want to believe that I don't think that the big government is the best way to take on these projects, that's fine as well. It's up for you to decide. Do your research, build up your evidence, and come up with your own views. But please, please, please always view these things from both sides.